see how this is working now. This is now set up on full manual mode. Let's see if the sound is picking up alright. Hopefully it is. On manual I have to set everything as is, unfortunately. Is this or isn't this working? I'm not sure how good this is, the quality. Done them. Right now, we're on to this. Let's see how good it looks if I switch that around. Let's have a look where we are now. Can you see? Here we go. That's too bright, isn't it? How the hell do you sort this out? That's too bright. Can't see anything as how bright that is. I can zoom in. I'm not sure if that's too bright though. Let's see if I can cut the light out. I'm not sure what side the light's got. It gets it too dark, you see. So that's not too bad. Now, it's alright, I'm whapping away to myself. I've set this up. Now we would drill in the, so we've drilled one side out, we're going to drill in this side now. So we're drilling the portholes out to start with. And what I've done, I keep messing about with this camera. I've got it set on fully automatic. I'm not going on automatic, I've got it set fully on manual. And what we have is not just the case of getting it set up right. I can zoom in and out now, okay. I'm getting used to this new mount now. It's fairly highish up. But because I've got it all set on manual, I have to do the f-stop. The ISO and everything all has to be done manual. So right now I've got it at F8 2000 ISO. That's in this 30, whatever that is. I can't remember what the 30 is now. But you have to set everything up manually. I can, whoops a daisy. I can alter this, you see, I can show you what happens if I can ever find the dials, which I can't. The trouble is, you see that's altered the, alright, that alters that 30, alright, okay. So I can bring that down to, now I'm at 100. This is the, I can't remember what that's called now. Right, the higher up I put that, the brighter it gets, so it stops at 30. So 30 seems to be a bit bright, but seems to be good enough for you to see what's happening. with the plastic you can actually see all that. You can't see the stupid handholds on it, which are here. I still haven't decided on them yet, by the way, from the previous video. Now what I'm going to do at some point is put the bit that goes along there on, I can't remember what that's called either. You know, these things that go on the side of the hull. You can't, I keep saying this, but you can't see the entire hull. I'll do a couple of these, I'll let the video run out. So let me put a bit more light on there, I can't see that. Doesn't make any difference whatsoever. I can't actually see this because of how shiny it is. So what we'll do, this is the Bismarck, by the way, I should have mentioned. So we'll get the Pontos drilled out. We'll put that bit on the side of the hull. I'll start putting some photo etch on the top of here. There's some doors over here that I can see. There might be a few bits that go on the hull that we'll add in photo etch. But at the moment it's all preparation of the hull and getting all these bits done. Although it's going to get to a point where it'll just be boring watching me drill holes. So I'll just, you've got 13 minutes left here, so I'm waiting on the paint coming. That's coming from E-Models. That arrives at some point. Might get it this week. So we'll see about that. I might see about setting up the propeller bits. We'll go on to them in a minute. Well, not on this video now, but later on we'll go on to the propellers and the lights and make sure they're all alright. I like to, and then I've got the bolts ready, nuts and bolts ready, which will screw this onto a baseboard when once it's painted. The only thing this hasn't got, most of these models usually nowadays have a little thin water line going along. This doesn't do that, so I'll have to work out where the water line is going to go. The red will be the darker cocoa brown, or cocoa red, which is the Bismarck colour in the book. None of this paint scheme. The paint scheme, I think I've said in a video before, is not based on Trumpeter's colour call-outs, it's based on the book Anatomy of a Ship, which tells you it's a medium grey hull at the top, light grey structures, whereas the call-out has it done having neutral grey hull and structures. But then of course, like any of these ships during the war or before or after, kept changing the colours anyway. The Bismarck obviously had the, I've explained before, had the camouflage, which I won't do because it didn't have it at the Battle of Denmark Strait, which is when this is being visualised. So I'm still getting used to this camera setup on the, I don't know why I'm pointing to it and showing you, oh dear Lord, the battery's about to run out. I don't know why I'm pointing to it because you can't see it. I did do a little review of it. It's a cracking mount, and at some point I'll put in for different ones. I'll buy the ones that go right across the table and can get lights top on. You can get lights on it and microphone bits. I've not looked into buying a bit for this for the microphone. I'll have to, because the microphone's like 3 feet away from me. But it's so nice having this camera set up like this. I can zoom. I don't expect to zoom down, don't it? I can. That's zoomed in too much. But this is the beauty. I can zoom right in, and you can still see that. Now, well, if you can, if I get it right, anyway. You see, you can still see the details in that. It just takes a bit longer. So you can see it a bit better now. And the one thing I have done, I found out, probably might be better to do. And this is the only problem with this when you're trying to do it manually focused, because the thing is attached to the table, it can tend to shake. Because I've got it all set up on manual, the manual focus and everything. The other thing I've done, the camera has a mirror up function. So this is working, this is videoing on the mirror being up. So that means that when I turn it on, you don't have to wait for the mirror to climb up, which used to do whatever. Excuse me. So because the mirror is up, it's just going straight to video. And hopefully this is looking better. This is going to make the movies better. The downside to the camera is the fact that all the controls, because it doesn't have an automatic, not automatic, doesn't have a remote control where you can do all the functions. I can't even find when you can buy for it. I think modern cameras right now have a remote control, but because every time I want to try and move something, do something, all the controls are on the back of the camera, which is a bit of a bug, because it's so far away that it's not impossible, but it means it's not easy to get to the back of the camera, which is a bit of a bug. It just irks me, that's all. So we're not doing too bad on this. If I do these ladders, I'm right next to one now, because when I've done this, as I did on the other side, I've got to sand it down without touching. As I've said before, that's where the little handles go down there, and the some go down there. But I reckon once you put the photo etched porthole bits on there, they're going to touch that. And this is the problem, because where they are, they're etched to the things. Oh, it's such a difficult decision to decide whether to put them in or not. I know it's going to take forever to do them if I do. It's not going to be a 10-minute job, you know, it's going to take 10 or 15 minutes per go. Getting it all drilled out, putting it in, setting it up, gluing it in, letting it dry. I reckon it's going to take, what, 15 minutes? You're looking at probably an hour for every 4 or 5. And there's 126 or so of them. And it's probably, I wouldn't work for an hour because it would be too boring and repetitive, just doing silly little things. So what I would do is I would probably do 2 or 3 of them, or half a dozen of them, and then not do any more, have a rest of them for a day, then come back to it and do a bit more. And I reckon it'd take about 2 or 3 months to do all them, which I don't mind, no problem with that, but I'd rather not spend 2 or 3 months waiting for it all to get done. is because of some silly little handhelds. And at the end of the day, the kit itself doesn't supply you any photo etch ones. That doesn't supply photo etch upgrades to this. To upgrade those handhelds, footholds, whatever you want to call them. If I hadn't brought the MK1 kit, I would never have known anything about them. So to be fair, I could say, right, I'll build it as is out of the box, which wouldn't be adding any of them to it. I know they will enhance it in photo etch, but then you have to think about how you're displaying the model. And I think I might have discussed that before once or twice. You've got to decide how you're displaying the model, what you're building it for. If you're building it on a commission, and it's going to be displayed in a, well, I don't know, museum quality, you're building it for somebody who has to have it done properly, then you would have to do all them handhelds. And they'd all have to be done professionally, or you wouldn't get paid. Because if you're building it for yourself, nobody's going to see it. No, I never get any visitors, nobody sees my models. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I could paint this sky blue yellow, and paint the guns pink, and have all sorts of colours. It'll only be displayed in my living room, nobody else will see it. But I've none the wiser. I've seen somebody paint, I think it was HMS Hood, they painted it in Italian colours. Looked a bit strange, seeing it in its, you know, these weird colours. Well, not weird, but weird for HMS Hood. And another one I saw, actually to be fair, it was the Titanic. It had been painted, I think, pink, blue, and I think possibly green. And that was put up on Facebook. And I got a lot of remarks from people. They pulled it to pieces. The whole chap did it. And he was rather proud of it. And all these, as happens on Facebook, all these people saying how vile it was, and how horrible it looked, and how it did the ship injustice. But what he didn't explain, his son finally explained it. Let me put that back, that's them done now. Let me see if I can just pull this camera back a little bit. This is the problem, you see, you've got to find where the bits are that I've moved. Now I can't find the bits I've moved, you see. Right now, so where are we? Right, so that's, right now, as I was saying, he painted the Titanic all these colours. I got some really horrible remarks on Facebook. Didn't explain to everybody the reason. But obviously, I think it was his son or nephew or somebody came on and realised what was happening. And I said, right, you horrible lot. There's no reason for all that. Really getting him upset with all them horrible remarks. The reason it's painted that colour is because it was colourblind. And what looked, oh, so he painted it to the colours that the Titanic was, that he could see. So they're going to make that picture's changing. That's because the sun's going in and out, them trees, and because I got it, this, as I say, I've got it set up on this thing with the, I can't get that any different. I can't remember how I did that now. Now that makes it darker, doesn't it? I can't get it below 30. It's because of the sun coming out. The sun going in and out. This is the problem when I've got the camera set like this, completely manual, and on this setup, it's going to look weird. So I'm gabbing on, the camera's only got 5 seconds left, so the video is about to go. Thanks for watching.